mice crawl to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Throw dice at woes of life, love deprived, looking to revive. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise, crystal chandeliers, motives reflected. Often mirrors appear clear, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and raving and grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near, stay there. Remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose. In paradise, we know what our worth is. In paradise, we manifest dreams. In paradise, truth is what you can see.
Boom. Yes, it is. The truth is what you can see. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of The Unpopular Hour. The Unpopular Hour. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark, and it is Wednesday. It is cold. It is nasty outside, and you can see I have a jacket on. My boy, those of y'all know me I have a fat pit bull. Name Ace, he's the biggest baby in the world, unless you're trying to come into the house or come into the yard. Other than he's a big old baby. He likes to be rubbed and loved on. So, but anyway, so he wanted to go outside. He was bugging me and whining and bringing his toy, bringing his ball. I'm like, oh my God, all right, let's go. So I got outside and played with him a little bit outside because he normally doesn't like it outside, but for whatever reason, he just decided that he wanted to do anything. And of course, if you have an animal, your animal runs your household, like mine runs my household. So, whatever. But anyway, the Thunder played tonight against the Heat. And it's so funny, as I was talking to somebody at the gym last night, one of my parents, because I train kids, I have a basketball academy. I was talking to one of my parents. They were like, well, why is it that people don't play their best players against us? I go, well, yeah, they do. I said, the Pelicans played their whole best team. I mean, they had their starting five against our bench players. So they do. It's just that we've gotten lucky because of especially right before the trade deadline. It was a little kind of crazy because when we played the Suns, they were trying to trade Kevin Durant. They didn't, so that didn't work for us. So that's why he didn't play. There's Nurkic, he wasn't playing. So there was some other guys who weren't playing. So that's kind of what happened with that. I forget who the Grizzlies had their full complement. Who else was it? I forget who it was, but there were some other people who didn't have all their players playing against us because they were going to be traded. So, I mean, I get that, but, I mean, the Pelicans, they traded Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram just signed a 4-year deal with Toronto. So, they just, if you're going to trade a player, the last thing you want to do is get them hurt. And it was so funny, we were talking about Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant playing, and it's like, well, is Kevin going to play? Is Kevin not going to play? But Kevin was on a trading block. And so the question is, how do you feel about playing for a team that was wanting to trade you? And we were talking about this, and I said, I don't think it was necessarily the fact that Kevin, that they were trying to trade him, as in they didn't want him. They're trading because they have no assets. So they've got to rebuild assets, and they're going to, of course, build around a younger Devin Booker than they are around an older Kevin Durant. But the bottom line, it comes to Bradley Beal having a no-trade contract. My thing is this, is that I'm not, and I understand why he did it, because he and LeBron have the only two non-trade deals. But my thing is this, I'm not going to give you a no-trade. Not to Bradley Beal. Now, for the Washington Wizards, yeah. But if I'm the Phoenix Suns, I want you. But no, I'm not going to take that off the table. You're going to have to we should have the option. But once again, Matt Ishbia, the new owner, he's so gung-ho about winning a championship that he's like, whatever, let's do what we got to do. And now it's coming back to haunt them, a win at all costs by trying to add him, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant, along with Devin Booker. It just did not work out. Bradley Beal was hurt all the time. Kevin Durant got hurt. It just didn't work. So when you look at the Thunder tonight, if we had played the Heat before the trade deadline, this is the same team that we would have been playing, because the only player that was not there is Jimmy Butler, and he's not there tonight, and he's now with the Golden State Warriors. So my girl Jennifer Falkenstein, I'm sorry, Jen, that your boy Jimmy Butler is not playing. But because the first thing she did the other night, we were at the game, and she looked to see when we play Golden State again. I go, we've already played them twice. You've already been to those games. So we're not going to play Golden State unless we play them in the finals, so she won't get to see Jimmy Butler except on TV or until next year. So too bad for that. So anyway, tonight's game, we play the Heat. They're 25-26. We're 43-9. Minus 14 is the spread. The over-under is 219. Now, the other night it was 236. So clearly they do not think that the Heat are going to be able to score against us. That's what that tells me. They don't think they're going to be able to score. Hey, Burgess, what's up? Nice to see you. We've got a couple people who come on and follow us and come in. And like we've said, if you guys have people that comment on my Facebook, I don't see my Facebook. If you want to comment and come on here and talk about the show or talk about the Thunder or anything, go to my YouTube, search After the Storm, OKC Thunder. Let me pull that up so you guys can see it. And that way we can, if you want to come on and you want to talk about the show or anything, you can do that. That's the Unpopular Hour with Matt Clark. And search, like, subscribe, hit notifications, and every time we will come on. Or After the Storm, which is our OKC Thunder post-game analysis show. And, we don't really, like the other night when there's a big blowout, I don't really come on because there's nothing for me to really talk about. We kicked their ass. What do you want me to say? I mean, we kicked their ass. That's what happened. So it's kind of hard for me to do the show after games like that because it's just, there's nothing for me to talk about. Like yesterday, we went over the game yesterday. There's really nothing to talk about. I mean, the game was over in the second quarter. So anyway, the Unpopular Hour with Matt Clark, like, subscribe, hit notifications, and every time we come on, we can do that. And that way you can, at that point, come on and do comments and stuff like this. Burgess, I appreciate Burgess, and Burgess also comes on After the Storm. And the thing about our show is when you come in our chat, we put your questions live on air, we answer them, and if there's dialogue back and forth, we let you get your opinion out. And if you do it on Facebook, I don't see it. So until after the show is over with. So come on and do it that way, and we can see your show and see what you're doing, or answer any questions that you might have at that point if you come on live on YouTube. But anyway, back to the Thunder. We're on 8 of our last 10, and we're on a 6-game winning streak, I believe. And when you think about what we're doing, Burgess, let me see. Saw reports yesterday that the OKC has the best net rating in NBA history. We're working on that. That's part of what Nathan was talking about yesterday. Nathan Taylor of YNB. He comes on. He's our our / producer, whatever. Nathan. He's a co-host on the show whenever he comes on. But yes, we will have, if we continue at the rate we're going, we will have the best net rating in the history of the NBA. And we'll see if that continues to work out. I mean, like I said before, 3 years ago, I said the thing that the Thunder needed to do, we needed to improve our outside shooting, we need to improve our perimeter defense, and we need to improve our interior defense. Those are the 3 things that the Thunder needed to do. And Sam Presti went at that by drafting Cason Wallace 2 years ago to go along with Dort, or last year. And then this year by trading, because he fixed that along with the shooting by hiring the best shooting coach in the country, in the NBA. So we solved that issue, which you can see with our shooting last year and this year compared to what we were before. Then this year he had Caruso and Ihart. So what Sam Presti basically did is he shored up the perimeter defense when you got Dort, you got Caruso, and you have Cason out front. Then he added Hartenstein to go along with Chet in the paint and J-Will. So that's what he did. So he improved all of our areas that we needed to do. And then now with the emergence of Wiggins, we shall see if that continues. Because like I said, Aaron was 2 for 24 or 23 or something like that in three-point shooting a few games ago, and he stepped up. So, and like I had said, I wasn't worried about it because it was, if you're going to have a bad shooting slump or you're going to have, this is the time to have it, not in the playoffs and not at the end of the year. So he had his little area. You can see Caruso is starting to come up. You see Kaysen, when he gets back, he'll be healthier. His numbers are starting to come up. The only issue that I have is that we're going to need iHeart, but he's going to have to start making his free throws. You can't shoot 64% from the free throw line because you will get fouled. Because as we talked about many times, in the playoffs, it's about possessions. How many possessions that you take advantage of. And once again, we talk about that because our coach plays too many players. You can't play a Jang or these guys are Dylan Jones during the playoffs. Why? Because you have 5 to 7 less possessions a game. So if you have that, you can't afford to give away 2 or 3 possessions by playing these guys that shouldn't be playing. You have to play to win. And this guy that hasn't computed in his head. Hopefully this year it will. It cost us the series against Dallas last year. And I explained to you guys many, many times. If you give away 2 or 3 possessions by not playing the right lineups, what that does is that's 4 to 6 points. That's 2 to 3. So that's 4 or 6 to 9 points. That's what that is. Let's say 3 possessions. That's 6 to 9 points that you've given up. And in a close game, like in the Dallas game that we lost, that's 6 to 9 points you gave away in the second quarter because of your lineups. You can't give away possessions. And until this guy understands that, until he understands that coaching in the season and coaching in the playoffs are 2 totally different things, no matter how much you like him, no matter how much you look at our record and all that, you need to get past all that and look at the small parts of what's really going on. Because it's irrelevant what you do during the season if you don't transfer that to the playoffs. And every other team understands we play 10 or 11 because we want, it's a long season. We want everybody to be healthy and save no minutes going into the playoffs. In the playoffs, you can't do that. You just can't. Burgess. Let me see. I think he's improving in small increments coaching-wise. At points he does. At points you understand. See, this is my problem with him. I know he gets it because, like, when we lost to Golden State at the beginning of the year, he played Jada up too long, realized he got in trouble, and then what did he do? He put in his right lineup: SGA, Kaysen, Caruso, Wiggins, K-Rich to stop the run. But you'd already let the run go. Same thing against when we lost to Dallas this last time. Same thing. He in the second quarter is his nemesis. But then he does change it in some games where the 6:47 or 6:50 or whatever that timeout is, instead of you putting SJ in there, you let him sit for a minute and a half. Well, when you do that, you're taking J-Dub out, which he doesn't want to do, and he sits SGA for 7 minutes. Other teams, especially Dallas and Golden State, get his weakness. Now, the problem is when other teams catch up, we're in trouble. Rashawn says that Mark does not make the finals, he should be fired. Sam Presti, he's doing what Sam Presti wants. So I don't know if he's going to be fired or what when it comes to that. Let me see. My guy Jose is sending me texts. Can we get further with Chet and Hartenstein in the paint? That's my guy Jose Fierro. We'll talk about him and his company here in just in a minute. Really? I'll go over what my girl Jennifer just sent me. She's hilarious. Anyway, so back to your deal, Rashawn. If Mark does not make the finals, he should be fired. He's not going to be fired. And then to my boy Jose's comment, as I said, my only problem with Hartenstein playing late in games is one thing. And that's if he's going to be able to make free throws. If he misses free throws, we're in trouble. If you're a head coach of an opposing team and you know a guy's shooting 60% and it's a close game, are you going to foul him? Hell yes, you're going to foul him. We're going to foul him. Now, you can't in the last 2 minutes because if you foul a guy back-to-back in the last 2 minutes, the Shaq rule comes in. He shoots the tech, you get the ball, so you're giving points away. So you can't do it then. Not on purpose. Now, if he gets the ball at the top and you're reaching for the ball and you foul him, that's a completely different thing. But, so, there are no intentional fouls late. Now, to answer Jose's, that's my thing. I love Hartenstein. I love Chet. That's why we made no moves before the trade deadline, even though I would still believe that we needed Cam Johnson. Now, Wiggins is showing up and Wiggins is playing great 100%. But I still believe that Cam Johnson is better than Wiggins. He's a better defender. He's bigger. He's stronger. He can score more points. Now, Wiggins is scoring. His scoring average is up lately. But like I said, I forget, was it you, Rashawn, or Burgess? I forget who was it that said, so what, he's done it against the Pelicans and he did it against whomever. Okay. What's going to happen during a regular season or during a good team? Like when we play a team that's 50-50, like we play Minnesota this Thursday, which is tomorrow night. We play Minnesota, in Minnesota. He's not going to go get 40. But my thing with Wiggins is this. I want you to concentrate on shooting your wide open threes. I don't want you trying to take people off the dribble and all of that. In traffic, you don't have the ball handling skills and you don't have the skills to finish. Now, people do say the flip side of that is if you're going to mess up, now's the time to mess up and get all that and work on all those moves now during the season so in the playoffs you'll be able to convert. Well, no, you do that during the off season so that when the season comes, you'll have the skill set to do it, which is what J-Dub's issue is. He doesn't have the ball handling skills because he's too wild and too loose with the ball handling. So he doesn't have the skills in order to make moves SGA does in traffic because SGA, he keeps his elbows in, everything is tight with him. J-Dub, his arms are out, everything is loose with him. So it does make a difference when you're trying to make moves. Wiggins is the same way because that's not what he's been able to do for the last 4 years. And let's face it, Dagnall hasn't been playing him. Even though I've been screaming for him to play, Nathan's been screaming for him to play. The commander, Randy Wright's been screaming for him to play. Mark Long we've all been screaming for him to play more. But for whatever reason, he didn't. Because to me, I'm not giving up his minutes for Jang. I'm not giving up his minutes for Dylan Jones. I'm not giving up K. Rich's minutes for Dylan Jones or Jang. I'm not giving up Jay Will's minutes for Jones or for Kenneth or K. Rich, or for Jang. Not giving up that. I'm not giving those minutes up. But I understand why he's doing it because he's trying to rest other players by playing them, and he's playing them in the second quarter when there's really nothing going on. But what he doesn't understand is, and what I'm trying to get you all to understand is, in the playoffs, he's giving away possessions. In these games, in the second quarter, when we've lost, he's giving away possessions because of his lineups. Now, you notice that he doesn't play Dylan Jones with J-Dub. He plays him with SGA because SGA can make up for any misgivings that he might do defensively. SGA can make up offensively. That's why he does that. Why do you think he puts J-Dub with the best lineups? Because he realizes his weaknesses, so he's trying to cover them up by putting him with the best lineups. Because remember, when A.J. Mitchell comes back, then A.J. will handle the ball, and it'll be a completely different thing. But his best lineup is SGA, Kaysen, Caruso, Wiggins, and going to be Chet. And right now it's J. Will or K. Rich if you want to go small. That's your best lineups. That's your best five. And no matter what he says, no matter what he tries to cover up, no matter what the Thunder try to say, you are -3 with SGA on the bench, and you're plus 15, 16 with him in the game. And you're a plus with J-Dub off the bench, on the bench. You're a plus. Why? Because they make their runs every single time. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If he doesn't change his mentality in the second quarter, if he doesn't change his mentality in the fourth quarter by sitting J-Dub for those 2 or 3 minutes and putting in his best five to make a run, we're not going to survive. We're not going to advance to the finals. We're not going to win it all. If he doesn't change those two things. Second quarter, when he puts SJ in the game and understands the flow of the game and understands lineups and what's going on, if he doesn't do that, And if he doesn't understand to put J-Dub on the bench in the fourth quarter for the 2 or 3 minutes to put in his best 5 to make a run, then bring him back in with 3 to 4 minutes to go to let him close out the game. If he doesn't do those two things, we are not going to win. And all I ask you, instead of calling me a freaking hater, pay attention to what I'm saying. You watch for yourself. And then you tell me if I'm wrong. Guess what? I won't be hearing from you because you'll have to say, man, you're right. And a lot of you ain't going to do that. But I was right about Westbrook, and y'all called me a hater. And y'all ended up coming back, man, you was right. I know, because you're not looking at what I'm looking at. I'm dissecting the game. I'm not looking at it in an overall view. Oh, well, we're 43 in this. Oh, well, we're winning. That's not how I look at the game because I'm trying to win the chip. And I understand it's the little things that you do that make the difference. Rashawn, the scouting report is on J-Dub to double team him in the second quarter. Yes, get the ball because he doesn't have the skill set. He doesn't. He doesn't. Oh, and that's another thing. When they double team SGA, you're going to have the right person at the top of the key. When we first started this run 3 years ago, I noticed what I noticed about this team was one thing, and that was that when they would double team SGA, we kick it to Josh at the top of the key, and then Josh would dismantle 4-on-3. He'd either shoot a teardrop, shoot a floater, pass the ball to the corner, knock down a 3, or take you off the bounce. The dribble, whatever. Y'all don't know what the bounce is. That's what he would do. So the double team, we would exploit the double team of SGA. Now teams are going to double team us because they want to put the ball in J-Dub's hands, or the others is what you call them. That's J-Dub, that's Chet, that's Wiggins, that's Kaysen, that's Caruso, that's Ihart. That's who they want to put the ball in their hand. They want to take it out of SGA's hands. Why? Because he is a killer down the stretch. Remember, he shot 61% last year in game-winning or game meaningful shots or game-ending shots or whatever you want to call it in the last 2 minutes. 61%. I'm taking the ball out of a guy's hands who's shooting like that at the end of a game. That's what teams do to us. And that's what we have to do. That's another thing he's going to have to think. Who are you going to put the ball in hands? Now, Nathan Taylor believes you put it in Ihart's hands because Ihart makes great decisions. He's a great passer. He can shoot that nice little floater. And by the way, Thunder people, Thunder reporters, or whatever the hell y'all call yourselves, or announcers, it's called a floater. There's no such word as a push shot. It's a floater or a teardrop. There's no such. He shoots floaters. And y'all go, oh, push-up / floater. There's no such word as a push shot. Why are you dumbing down the kids that support the Thunder? Why are you doing that as an organization? Why are you doing that as a TV and radio announcer? Why are you doing that? You think these kids are going to get, you know how much they'll get talked about if they laughed and you're talking to some people who know the game and you call it a push shot, they're going to laugh and they go, what's push shot? What's that? It's called a floater. They'll get talked about because you aren't doing your job as an announcer. That's your job. Go read a book and understand what different things are. What is a push shot? It's not in there. It's a floater. And it makes us look stupid because you don't know how. The NBA announcers, what do they say? Floater, oh, nice floater. There's another floater. There's another teardrop. And you all over calling it push shots. And you have the number one team in the league. It's a joke. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. Take this opportunity to thank our sponsors. If you have needs for engineering, surveying, or planning, hit our guys up over at SRB. They would love to take care of you. Remember, if you have a new building that you're building or a complex, they can lay it out for you and make sure there's no flooding and everything will be perfect. Also, if you have a water treatment plant in your city or in your county, hit these guys up. As we've said many times, who the hell doesn't, let me see. I'll talk about that in a minute, Burgess. And who the hell does not like clean drinking water? Our guy Burgess47 said something about the push shot comment on Michael Cage. Anyway, our Oak Grove Trucking, our guy Jose Fierro, hit our guys up if you have dirt, rock, or sand to be moved. And I know that he's looking at getting another truck or adding an additional truck if he needs to. And, of course, YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender, member of the FDIC, proud sponsor for us to go out and support women, minority, and black-owned businesses in the OKC area. You can also pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you can go to the main bank at 401 Elm, 66 steps from historic downtown Yukon, Oklahoma. YNB East, which is off the Parkway and 66 at 39th Expressway. YNB Mustang, 218 North Mustang Road. YNB Parkway, which is off Garth Brooks and I-40, just south of I-40, right there off Garth Brooks, right in front of the hospital. Cannot miss it, right across from Louis. And then, of course, YNB Peoples, located in Bethany on 23rd between Rockwell and MacArthur. And by the way, Commander, if you're listening, Team Blue, Team Blue, Team Blue, Team White Sox, just to let you know. And by the way, Jennifer, she says, Randy, she says, she goes, I'm from Water. She goes, I'm team whoever looks like to me they're might going to win. Wow. Thank you, Jen. Appreciate you for having my back, girl. Appreciate you. I know, Randy, Kimberly has your back on Team White, but my friend is not my back for Team Blue. I got to get that worked out. We got to figure that out. Elm Grove Clothing and my guy Jonathan Beakey Triplet, 405-332-8787. If you watch Kendrick Perkins and see what Kendrick has been dressed like, this is the guy who's made Kendrick look as good as he does, this guy right here, because you know that he really looks good now compared to what he was. I can tell you that, flat out. Now, back to our comments. Burgess says, talking about the push shot. Burgess says, ha ha ha, at the push shot, comment Cage on vacation time. It's a joke. It's pathetic. And he's trying to make it cool or act like he's trying to create something. Bro, you're an idiot. You're dumbing down the deal. And if I see you to your face, I'm going to tell you, stop doing that. Call it what it is. Because you don't understand what that does to little kids when they're out there calling, oh, this is a push shot, and kids are looking at them like, you dummy, that's a floater. Call it what it is. Don't try to make up something like you're cool and you can make up something. Bro, call it what it is. It's a floater. It's not a push shot. It's no such word. It's ridiculous. Speaking of announcers, Michael Cage is insufferable. He is too much of a homer. Well, that and so is, well, I don't mind him necessarily being a homer, and so is our guy on WWLS. They're both, he talks about the fouls all the time, so I went to see what the foul shots versus foul calls are. It's not that outrageous. It seems like it at times because it's when they do it. But my problem with the announcers is learn what stuff is. We're 38-9, and you're looking like a bunch of amateurs who don't know what the hell they're talking about because you're trying to be cool and make up stuff. Just like him talking about the reverse shot. It wasn't, the move was he split the double team, and he did a left-hand reverse. That's what SGA did. Oh, that scooped up. If you don't know what the hell the moves are, why are you the announcer? Why are you the guy who decides stuff? What are you doing? Who tells us what's going on? What are you doing if you don't know the plays because you're trying to be cool? And I understand it's different when you're on radio and people can't see you, and you're making up something, blah blah blah, whatever, trying to make it cool. I get that. Like they'll talk about, oh, this is a rim rocker. Really? He just barely dunked the ball. Wasn't no rim rocker, but of course, you're on radio, you have to hype it up. I get that. But you're on TV. We see what it is. It's just a left-hand reverse. That's all it was. Oh, it's a scoop. No, it wasn't a finger roll. It was a simple left-hand reverse. The same stuff my 11-year-old kids do. And that's what's sad about the Thunder is the kids that I train, they know more about what the shots are than the Thunder announcers. How sad is that? They're 11 and 12. And this guy, they're out there trying to create shots. They're like, Coach, do they not know what they're talking about? They don't know what a floater is? No, they really don't. Sorry. Don't know why the Thunder have guys who don't know what shots are. I don't know what to tell you. So I have to tell them. So they just look at them like, oh, you think these kids aren't telling their friends, saying the same thing? Bro, you know what stuff is. Call it what it is. Don't try to make up something like you're cool and you know you're going to create something. You're making yourself look dumb. Everybody knows it's a floater, not a push shot. We all know that. You're on the number one team in the NBA with the best record. Act like it. Sad, man. It's sad. Speaking of number one team, let's go ahead and go over the scores from yesterday, which there wasn't a lot. There's going to be a lot of games today. The scores yesterday, the Raptors beat the 76ers. The 76ers, and we'll go over the standings here in a minute. The Knicks beat the Pacers. They beat the brakes off of them. And it's so funny is it was, oh, God, what's our guy's name? The point guard for the Pacers. Really good. Oh, my God, he was on the NBA. He was on the U.S. Olympic team. Oh, my God. I'll think of it in a minute when I'm not trying to. Anyways, his dad was his birthday, and he was supposed to score 60-something points for his dad. Didn't happen. They got spanked. Pistons and the Bulls. The Pistons, hey, 132 points. That boy Cade Cunningham is a bad man. Love what he's doing, man. Love go Pokes. Love what Cade is doing. Grizzlies and the Suns. KD had a big night, but for the most part, you look at them and you look at that team. Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton. Thank you, Burgess. Tyrese Halliburton is his father's birthday last night, and so he was supposed to be. His dad wanted 68 points or something like that for him to score, and Shaq and they were talking about it. You can't when you score a lot of points. It starts early. When you see SGA start scoring, they score early. Now, the difference is most teams don't have a coach who cools off their best player. I agree, Rashawn. So we're looking up the standings now. Here are the standings, okay? When you look at the West, the Suns are nowhere to be found. Now, granted, they are kind of dismantling the team, so that does have some effect on what's going on. Okay, so that does have some effect on it. But when you look at them, they're nowhere to be found. And it's just kind of sad because, you throw at the beginning of the season, you thought they were going to be more. And it's just like, but I don't know if they're done yet, Rashawn. Rashawn says they're done on our chat. I'm not sure if they're done. Sorry, guys. But when you look at us right now, we are 43-9, winners of 6 in a row. And we'll go over what our upcoming schedule is and what we should be in our next 10 games. So we'll go over that in a minute. The Grizzlies have won 1 in a row. They came back after losing. They're back now. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. Nuggets, 35-19, winners of the last 7. They're coming, guys. The Nuggets are coming. Don't think they're not. They're finally figuring out what to do and how to play, how Jokic and Westbrook are going to play together. Hold on a second. So we're going to see what they're going to do, but they're coming. And, yeah, Rashawn, I agree. They have no big man because they traded. And I think that what the Suns basically are doing is they're trying to get into the lottery. They're not going to make it because Kevin Durant's too good. He's not a loser, and that's not going to happen. But unfortunately, they didn't try to trade him to the right place. That's what I think. Burgess, I agree to an extent. They are the type of team to make it push at the end. I agree. That's what I'm saying. Burgess, you and I are saying the same thing. I think Kevin Durant is not going to let them lose. I can promise you. They're not going to finish low like that. They should have traded him, even though he didn't want to go to Golden State, which I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to go play with Draymond. That's the reason why he left. He left in the first place. So Draymond wanted to be relevant again, and he wasn't. And that's a fact. He can say what the hell he wants to, but he was no longer a factor when KD was there, and he did what he did to make KD run off. Nuggets, like the Lakers, 32-19 with the addition of Luka, won their last 6. They're going to be a handful. And I agree with, I forget who it was. I don't know if it was Hotspot on the show the other night, that the Lakers in the first round will be a tough out. But fortunately, we don't have to see them, and we wouldn't have to see them until the second round. And if they go for let's say the way it stands right now, they either play the Rockets, that's going to be every bit of a 6 or 7 game series because the big boy will be back by that time. So that's going to be a tougher game than what you would normally think it would be. So that 4-5 matchup would be tough. The Nuggets would go ahead and they would play the Clippers. And then, the Nuggets would play, the Clippers. And then the Grizzlies would play whoever was the 7th place seed, whether that's the T-Wolves, the Mavs, the Kings, the Warriors, and then we would play the 8th seed, whether that's the T-Wolves, the Mavs, the Kings, or the Warriors. And of those teams, I'd rather see the Kings than any of those teams. I don't necessarily want to see the Wolves again in a first-round series. The Mavs, I don't mind in the first-round series. I don't know if I want to see them because, remember, AD will be back. I think Lively will be back. Gafford will be back, and the rest of the guys would have played together enough, so they'd be in a nice little sync. So I don't know if I'd want to see the Mavs the first series or the Warriors the first series since they tend to have us. Rashawn says Luka looked out of shape and slow. That's the way he always looks, Rashawn. But I think the advantage of him being with LeBron is going to change the way that they play down the stretch. And I think especially next year in LeBron's 43 or whatever, because let's face it, he's going to wait 2 more years, and then he's going to be gone because he wants to play with his son, Bryce, who's an actual player. So, but anyway, when you look at the West and you look at the Thunder, we're now a nice little lead, 7.5 games. If we win tonight, that'll give us a nice little advantage because we need to up that up because, remember, we have the Heat tonight, which we need to win. And then we have that. And the Heat are sitting in 7th place over in the West, over in the East, since that's who we play next. They are game and a half a game behind the Pistons. So we should make them 2 games behind the Pistons tonight by beating the Heat at home, which you have to, like we always say, what do you got to do? You got to hold home court. You got to win home court. You got to hold serve. And that's one thing that you have to do is you have to hold home serve. You got to hold home court. That's one thing that you have to do. It's a must because you're playing at home. You have to win those games when you're at the house. And what are the Thunder right now? What does it say? It doesn't say there. Let me see. If I can find let me see. I'll tell you what. Thunder Heat. Bucks. I'm trying to pull this up real quick, guys. Sorry about my just being quiet here. Okay, I didn't want that. Where is it? Was the 12th? Sorry guys, I'm trying to get this pulled up so I can do my home. Okay, the Thunder are 24-3 at home. So we're 24-3 right now at home, and we have the Heat at home. So we're 24-3, which means that we need to take care of business tonight at 24-3. We need to make sure that we continue that thread. So 24-3, we need to handle that business tonight against them. That's this imperative and what we do. So, and when you look at what SGA has done, since we're going to promote SGA on this show. Since the Thunder want to promote J-Dub, we're going to go ahead and promote SGA. He's our best player, and we don't. He's our best player, we don't. This is what SGA's doing tonight. He's averaging 32 points a game, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 1.9, basically 2 steals a game, 1 block, and 2.6 turnovers. Now, if he continues averaging this amount of turnovers a game, he'll be the only player he'll be getting close. I think Michael Jordan did like 6 or 7 times. So he'll be right there with Jordan as far as averaging 2 turnovers a game and scoring 30 points. and shooting 50%. I think Jordan did like 7 times. So that right there, this will be the 3rd time he's done it, and that's impressive in itself. But what's impressive to me is to average 30, shoot 50%, okay? That's been done 5 times by Jordan. This will be SGA's 3rd time in a row. Nobody's done it more than twice except Jordan. And now SGA, this will be his 3rd year in a row. And of course, Jordan did it 5 times. Average 30, shoot 50%. That's crazy. That's a crazy stat right there. But we're going to promote SGA because we realize what we have in front of us. And you guys need to realize what you have in front of you because it is so funny. I got sent this today, and it says, where is it? You can get Thunder tickets tonight for just $2. $2. You can go to the game tonight for $2. Why wouldn't you want to do that? $2. So go ahead and do that. But like I said, come to the game. Enjoy what you're watching this young man right here, SGA, go to work. Remember, guys, he's doing stuff that only Jordan has done. And only Jordan has done. Only Michael Jordan. He did it 5 times. SGA's getting ready to do it 3 years in a row. That's crazy. And then, by the way, if he continues his average right now of turnovers, he will have the lowest rate of anybody in history to do what he's doing at 30, 50, and two turnovers. In history. He'll have the best record in history, the lowest in history. He's already done it once or twice. He's done it twice, 22, 23, 23, 24. I mean, go and appreciate what you're seeing out of this young man. 30 points, 50%, 5+ rebounds, 6+ assists, almost 2 steals, and 1 block. And remember, in the history of the game, only 3 people have ever done 30 points a game, 2 blocks, and 1 steal. 2 steals and 1 block. That's been Michael Jordan, SGA, and Dwayne Wade. And he's getting ready to do something only he's done. Let me pull that up again. Let me see, where is it at? I know I have it in here. And he'd be one of the 3 players to do that. Dwayne Wade and Jordan. And Jordan did it twice. I mean, guys, go to the games. Just pay attention to what you're seeing. Look at what you have in front of you right now. He's doing all-time things. Now, granted, Russell did the triple-double, but let's face it, the Thunder helped him do that. We're talking about the rebounds. The Thunder 100% helped him do that. 100%. There's nobody who can say different, because you know what happened. If you're a basketball person, you know that the points, he did 100%. The assists, he did 100%. But everybody knows the Thunder helped him get rebounds because he played out of position. That's why it's so hard to achieve, because you have to play out of position in today's game. Now, when Oscar Robertson did it, it was a completely different game back then, okay? But in today's game, you, as a point guard, you have to play out of position to get those rebounds. And then they have to do what? You've got big guys in there to do what? They're going to box out and let you get rebounds, because the Thunder wanted to stay relevant after making the stupid mistake of letting KD go for Russell. So they wanted to stay relevant, which once again goes to what Stephen A. Smith said about Sam Presti. Is Sam Presti about winning the chip, or is Sam Presti about making sure we're relevant every year for the playoffs? I don't believe Sam Presti does not want to bring a chip to Oklahoma City. I don't believe that. Nothing in my body tells me that that's what his motive is. Now, is his motive to stay relevant in the playoffs? 100%. We want to do that too. But do you think that he doesn't want to win and bring a championship to Oklahoma City? Hell yes, he does. Who the hell doesn't want to be a general manager and not win a chip? That's the ultimate goal that speaks for you doing your job as a general manager. Is your team winning the chip, the NBA title? That's what you're there for. That's what they pay you millions of dollars for, is to be the guy who puts the roster together that wins a chip, that brings a trophy, that has a parade here in downtown Oklahoma City or wherever they would have it. I don't even know where they would have it. I'm sure it'd be downtown somewhere where everybody could be, probably in Bricktown or going down Reno or whatever. I'm sure that's where they're going to have it. It'll be crazy. Will I be there? Hell yeah, because it'll be in June. And who the hell's not going to be there supporting our team? And I'd probably try to figure out a way to do some sort of a live stream where we have the thing in the background. I don't know how we do that because you'd almost have to do it on a roof or something, but that would be cool. What's up, Angel? How you doing? But anyway, that's how I feel. I think that Sam Presti did make a move this time because, one, I believe that he knew we needed Cam Johnson to ensure. I think if we get Cam Johnson, you're probably 70% chance of winning the chip. Now, if everybody's healthy, 60%. Angel says most NBA owners and GMs can't run a team. That's true. I'm true. Burgess, you're catching that flight. Yeah, catch that flight. Come on. And I think Oklahoma City will be absolutely insane with everybody coming to the parade. And remember, it'll be in June, so it'll be warm. The only thing we'd have to worry about is rain, which we're not going to say that because it'll be our first championship here, and so I don't believe that. But that being said, I believe that he did not make the move because he did not want to give up Topic. Like last year, I don't believe we wanted to give up Kaysen. I know people, my understanding is they wanted Kaysen. Now, I could be off. I'm not giving you Kaysen. And I had a guy at the Thunder game earlier this year tell me, he goes, man, you were so right about Kaysen. You know, I said, why would we give up Laurie Marketing, which we needed, but I'm not giving you Kaysen Wallace. No way. Just like New Jersey, I'm not giving you Topic. No way. If he's 90% of what he is, when SGA goes to the bench, hopefully that -3 will turn to a positive when he's not on the floor. Because I believe Topic is a poor man's SGA. And I don't mean that in a negative way towards Topic. But to say that he's on the same level as SGA, you're high. Whatever the hell you're drinking or smoking, I want some of it because that's you're wasted. SGA is a different animal, and I just went over why. So when you look at the Thunder and you look at where we are and you look at where we can be, we're set and ready to do something. And I think Sam Presti, I'm backing him 100% in what he did. He also knew we were getting Chet back. So if you're getting Chet back, why do you need to make any kind of moves? You're getting Chet back. You're getting your center back. You're getting one of the best shot blockers in the NBA back. Why do we need to make a move? Like I said earlier, we have to worry about the coach in the second quarter, understanding the flow of the game, understanding the lineups, and understanding you can't play everybody all the time. And number 3, you can't sit SGA for 7 minutes. That is just ludicrous. You've got one of the top 10, top 3 players in the NBA, and you sitting for 7 minutes? Nobody's sitting their best player for 7 minutes. Oh, that's right. You're a developmental coach. You're still developing J-Dub. And you're costing us by doing it. And hell yeah, I'm calling you out. And all you haters can say what the hell you want to, but I can promise you right now, pay attention to what the hell I'm saying. Watch it for 3 or 4 games and then tell me I'm wrong. Guess what? I won't hear from you. Because you damn sure ain't going to come tell me you were right because you're too busy hating on me. So you ain't going to tell me I'm right. I'm right. And if you watch the games close enough, you'll see. It's frustrating. Then they trade for Daniel Things. They traded to help them out, and we wanted another draft pick. That's why we traded for him. If Topic is what I think, would that make J-Dub expendable? No. J-Dub needs a ball handler, which is why A.J. Mitchell was so important to what we're doing. A.J. Mitchell handled the lineup for the second lineup, which I called SGA's group when J-Dub goes to the bench, the third lineup. The second lineup is the second and fourth quarter starters. You need a ball handler. J-Dub's not a ball handler. So no, I don't say that at all. What I'm saying is Topic is a better ball handler. He can make plays and do things offensively that J-Dub isn't capable of, even though they're trying to build him into that. He just doesn't have it. He just doesn't. And so that's what I'm saying about Topic. He's more like SGA. He's smooth. He can handle the ball. He can take you off the bounce. He can play decent defense, but he can score all over the place. But his court vision is amazing. So that's why I say that he's a poor man's version of SGA. And then you have him with J-Dub on the same floor with iHeart. So you have J-Dub, Topic, iHeart. You can have Caruso, Kaysen, or Dort. I prefer Dort to play with J-Dub. I prefer Kaysen and Caruso to play with SGA. That's just me. J-Dub is untouchable as long as Sam Presti's GM. And I agree with that. J-Dub's not going anywhere because the coach, that's his boy. And that's his player. Sorry, I don't mean boy isn't, because I know some of y'all are, you got to be careful on what you say. You got to be all politically correct. I don't mean that boy as in the term of negativity back in the day, boy. I meant boy like my kids, that's my boy. That's my guy. And that's mean that's his guy, not like Randy Wright, that's my boy. Mike Debo, that's my boy. Mark Long, that's my boy. Greg Nafy, that's my boy. Not as a boy, but that's my boy. That's my dog. That's my guy. That's my person. That's what they are, not boy as in negatory. And when they call me their boy, they don't mean it as in I'm their boy as a negative term at all. I'm their guy. So when we say that, that's what I mean. But I know how some people are about the boy term, which is ridiculous. But some people are the way they are, especially in America being the way it is currently. But anyway, they love J-Dub. And somebody had told me they thought he's their best. He has more upside than SGA. And I said, if you think that, you have no clue what the hell you're talking about. You need to be fired. He does not have more upside than SGA. No way. Now, is he more athletic than SGA? Yes. But he does not possess the skill set to be on the same level as SGA. He just doesn't, because he's never had to do that. And what SGA does is developed over time, doing it junior high, high school, college, pros. He's developing his skill set. That's not something you can just develop. You either have it. And J-Dub has always been bigger, stronger, more athletic, and do whatever the hell he wants. So now in the league, that once they get enough tape on you, it's harder for you to do the things that you need to do. Now, you are going to have games where you're outrageous, 100%. But it doesn't going to happen on a consistent basis. So when you look at the Thunder's keys to winning, they're really simple. It starts on the defensive side of the basketball. Then offensively, it comes down to the coach understanding who his best player is, how to get the ball in his hands, and how to have the other players play off of him. That's that. The third thing is he's going to have to get over his developmental mentality in the playoffs. The season is one thing. The playoffs is something else. And the reason why I keep harping on the second quarter is we've lost 5 times to Golden State and Dallas. And the reason why he loses in the second quarter every time, because of the way that he coaches the second quarter. And if he doesn't change that, we're not going to go to the finals. If he doesn't change the way he does his lineups, we're not going to the finals. If he doesn't pull J-Dub out in the fourth quarter for 2 or 3 minutes to put in his best 5 to make a run, we're not going to win the chip. That's a fact. Those things aren't changing. Now, the other thing that worries me more than anything is, here's the asterisk. If iHeart is not going to be able to get up past 64% from free throws, can you play him late in a game? And we're going to need him for size, because we're a different animal when you have J-Dub, SGA, J-Dub, Chet, iHeart, and Dort, or Kaysen, or Caruso in the game. Now, can you take iHeart out and you can then you can have SGA, J-Dub, Chet, Dort, and either Kaysen or Caruso? Yes, you sure can. Now, if we're trying to stop people, I want Caruso. If I'm trying to score a little bit and stop, I want Kaysen. So I don't mind. Dort's got to be there, but at the end of a game, he makes a stupid foul all the time. So if it's late, I'd rather have SGA, J-Dub, Kaysen, Caruso, Chet. Because Dort worries me about fouling somebody, which he always does. And you guys, if y'all watch it enough, you know what the hell I'm talking about. It's frustrating as hell. So remember tonight, guys, we're getting off the air here. Remember tonight, it is it's $2 to go to the game because of the snow thing, whatever. And I look outside my window and there's nothing. I'm like, what's out there? I don't see anything. Not to me. It's fine. But anyway, that's the story for tonight. So if you want to do that, by all means, go to the games. $2 to get in. I think it'll be fine. But we're going to see. And by the way, the commander, go Team Blue. Go Team Blue. Let me see. What did Rashawn say? In the playoffs, what would your start of the second quarter lineup be? I would have A.J. Mitchell. I would have J-Dub. I would have Ihart. I would have Dort. And then I would have either Case or Caruso or Kaysen. That's what I'd have. Or, excuse me, Wiggins. So I'd have J-Dub, A.J., Wiggins, Ihart, and either Caruso, Dort, or Kaysen. That's what I have. That's my lineup in the second quarter. And to start the fourth quarter. That's what I have. But when I tend to J-Dub to the bench, I'd want SGA, Kaysen, Caruso, Wiggins, and Chet. And my starting lineup in the second quarter would be AJ, J-Dub, Wiggins. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting Wiggins. Ihart, and either Kaysen or Caruso. That's what I have. That's what I have in my second group coming at them. Because defensively, they know they're going to make a run at us. And at the 6:47 mark, I'm putting SGA in the game, period. Rashawn, period. I'm putting 6:47, I'm putting him in the game. Second quarter, and fourth quarter, you may have to put him in at the 8-minute mark, depending on what we're doing. Because that's imperative. It's imperative that you do. You cannot sit him for 7 minutes. That is just crazy. And I hear guys talk about, well, you rested him. Well, then why the hell are you playing J-Dub for so long? You don't sit him over, like, for example, in the first quarter, you're pulling him out at the 4-minute mark instead of 5-minute, 6-minute mark like you were before when we were dominating the first quarter. When SJ goes to work, as soon as he goes to the bench, SJ goes to work. Second quarter, you're sitting SJ for 7 minutes. You only sit J-Dub now 3 or 4 minutes now. Third quarter, same thing. Fourth quarter, he plays either the whole fourth quarter if the game is tight. There's no reason, and Mark Daigneault can't justify this in any way, that you played J-Dub more minutes than one of the top two or three players in the league, arguably MVP. How do you play somebody more than the MVP? And the only team that does that are the Oklahoma City Thunder and that coach with that GM. Nobody else plays their best player somebody else more than their best player. Nobody. Now, with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they're really close. Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, they're really close. So, yeah, you could kind of see that. But J-Dub and SGA, 2 or 3 minutes, J-Dub plays more minutes. You have J-Dub on the bench, you play SGA or J-Dub on the whole fourth quarter, you sit SGA on the bench. Only the Thunder do that with Daigneault. And if you think that's a recipe for winning, that's not going to happen. So, anyway, guys, hey, go get some rest, stay warm tonight, and I'm on my way to the gym to get some stuff done and check on the gym, and then I'm going to the game tonight. Got to go pick up my girl, Jen. And Commander, hopefully you're going to be there. Don't be scared. Don't be scared, bro. Team Blue, out.